Hi guys, welcome to Reen's Place. I just finished filming a ShopRite haul, and this is some of the meat that I got there. I'm going to get all this stuff ready for the freezer, so I thought I would bring you along and we would do it together. First of all, I'm going to make some meatballs. So, in this giant bowl, I'm pretty sure I did turkey meatballs, but I never did the beef meatballs. Same thing, but again, I don't know if I showed it or not. I'm just going to put one of these packages of chopped meat in here. It's about 6 pounds. Okay, that's going to be meatballs. We'll come back to that. I want to get the other meat just browning. I'm going to keep... Okay, let's see. Let me move this over. Okay, so I have 2 more packages of meat, and I'm going to keep half of a package whole. I'm going to put it in a freezer bag and just stick that in there. That'll be 3 pounds of meat, and I'm going to use that for some sliders that I'm going to make on another day. And that will be a video also. And the rest of the meat, which will be about 9 pounds, I'm going to go ahead and brown. I'm just going to salt and pepper and brown it on the stove. So let me get the pans on and get the beef in, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay guys, I have my 2 big pans here, and in here now I have, I think, about 6 pounds in this one and about 3 pounds in this one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to really salt and pepper it some. I don't even know if I might have to fill these up with pepper. But I'm going to give it some salt. And this is not a teaspoon. It only says, excuse me, that's the dogs going after the cat, the Tad. And some pepper. Just some black pepper. Sorry about the noise. I do have 3 dogs, and they bark. Okay. I'm just going to let it go for a minute. I have this little handy dandy chop meat thing. I think it's like UPS time. Okay, I'm going to get this going. This takes a little bit because there's a lot in the pan. But I'm basically just browning it and chopping it up along the way. So let me get the stuff I need together to make the meatballs, and I'll swing you over to the other counter and we'll get that going. Okay, so I have the chopped meat. It's browning on the stove. It's actually, I turned it off for a minute. And I have 6 pounds of ground beef in here. This I'm going to make, let me put you to, there you go. I'm going to make meatballs with this. So 6 pounds of chopped meat, and I'm just going to season it. I don't take measurements, but we'll see what happens. I just put a little salt. And don't put too much salt because I also use the grated cheese, so you don't want it overly salty. You can add to it. You can't take it out. Some black pepper. Okay, now here comes the cheat. You could put garlic in, which fresh garlic is yummy, but I have some, what do they call this, Chuck? Dehydrated minced garlic. I'm just going to use this instead. Not too much. But you also don't want to under-season your meatballs, otherwise it just tastes like chopped meat. So I also am going to put a little bit of regular garlic powder in. And then, again, shortcut, I'm going to use some minced onion, dehydrated, rather than chopping onions. Okay. Some parsley. I'm going to use some, this is the cheese that I buy it at ShopRite. It's grated Romano, and then I just store it in these containers in my fridge. So that is about a little less than half a bag. And then I like to put breadcrumbs in here, like real bread. And I like cheap bread. Like, I wouldn't put any of my, like, Sara Lee bread in here. I just buy, like, a store brand bread. And this is about 8 slices that I just put in the food processor, but if you have a box grater, you could do it on there also. And then I'm going to add some ketchup. This is sugar-free ketchup, but you could use tomato paste, tomato sauce. This is how I've done it. And they just squirt some in. And remember, this is 3 pounds of meat, so although it looks like I'm sticking a lot in, I'm really not. I'm going to add 2 eggs. Whoops, and a shell. Okay. The garbage. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix it around and see where I'm at. I probably have to add some more stuff, but I like to get a feel of, you know, how it's coming along. And obviously you could do this on a much smaller scale, but I'm busy, and you know what? It takes just as much time. It takes a little extra time to make 3 pounds worth than if you make a pound, but you know what? Next time I don't have to do this. And these will last a long time. In January, I'm going to be more strict on my diet, so being that these have breadcrumbs in, I'll probably give the leftovers to my mom, which she will greatly appreciate, and then I'll make these again keto style. So breadcrumbs, maybe I'll put a little heavy cream in there. They're pretty much keto if you just leave the breadcrumbs out. Sometimes I put a little almond flour in as a binder. I'm doing the keto ones. Okay, let's see where I'm at. Okay, and when you're doing this, you want to smell the spices in it, because there's nothing worse than a bland meatball. You don't want to overdo the garlic, which you could easily do, but I mean, I'm smelling it a little bit, but I don't know. Let me see. I think I'm going to add a little. Okay. And it also doesn't feel very wet to me, so I'm probably going to add a little more ketchup. Let me wash my hands real quick, and we'll doctor this up a little. Okay, I can smell the cheese in it, so I definitely don't need any more cheese. I'm going to put a little more garlic powder in. I'm going to put a little more of the minced onion in. Definitely some more ketchup in. You're thinking ketchup in your meatballs. Don't knock it till you tried it. Delicious. A little more salt. And a little more pepper. Now, if you were on a budget and you're trying to stretch this even more, you can put more bread in. It's kind of like when you do meatloaf, you know? But I just like a little bit. And if you really are like, oh my god, ketchup in your meatballs, put some tomato sauce instead. That's fine. Same difference. Especially with the sugar-free one that I buy. It's, you know, it's really more tomato than anything else. And that's it. I am ready to make meatballs. Okay, so let me get some pans and my scoop, and I'll show you what I'm doing. This is super simple. I mean, it took me like 2 minutes to mix this up, and then I'll show you how we cook them. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, so I have some aluminum pans here. You can do this in casserole dishes. Honestly, I am just exhausted, and I need to get my life together and take out as many steps as I can. Okay, that was just olive oil cooking spray. I spray my pans. I use a cookie scoop. If you like meatball, you know, big ones, use an ice cream scoop. I like them small. And then just roll them. They don't have to be perfect. Put them in the pan. I have my oven preheating for 400 degrees. I'm going to fill up my pans. I mean, seriously, with the scoop, it makes this like a no-brainer. Everything's the same size. Everything cooks in the same amount of time. And let's see how many am I going to get in here. So they're going, you can't see. Winifred! It's my Winnie Pooh. Okay, 5 across. I usually get, I think it's somewhere like 40 in a pan. I usually use the, you know, the ones that are not so shallow. But this is what I have. I went to Sam's Club today too, and I totally forgot. So I will ask my son to pick them up for me. He's lucky. He lives in another part of the state, and he passes a Sam's Club on his way to and from work. Chuck, would you please? Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause because the dog was barking too much. I'm not sure what I was saying, but I'm just going to use the scooper and make as many meatballs as I can. I thought I was going to get 40. It looks like I'm going to get like 35 in this pan. So 35 per pan. This will definitely do at least 2 pans, maybe more. But I'm going to cook these in a 400 degree oven, probably about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to pause this video here, make the rest of the meatballs, and then I'll come back and show you how many it's made when I'm done. Okay guys, I'm back. I said in the last part of the video that it was 3 pounds of meat. It was 6 pounds of meat. I'm rolling these meatballs and I'm like, oh my god, why are there so many? Because I used a whole package. I'm going to lose my battery, so let me talk quick. I got 115 meatballs out of that 6 pounds. I'm now going to put them in a 400 degree oven and I'm going to check them in 20 minutes and then we'll come back with a fresh battery. Alright guys, I'll be back. Okay guys, it was 25 minutes on 400. All the meatballs are cooked. Looking good. Okay, I'm just going to let these cool down a little bit, and then we're going to package them up for the freezer. I also drained the chopped meat. That's 6 pounds of chopped meat. Was it 6 pounds? Let me think. It might have been more. That's 9 pounds of chopped meat. 9 pounds of chopped meat and 6 pounds of meatballs. I'm going to let everything cool off, and then we're going to package this and get them in the freezer. And I'm also going to be putting out a video, maybe at the same time as I put this one out, of me making a quick, easy, one-pot pasta dish, and I'm going to use the meatballs. Alright guys, I shall be back at the end. We'll package this up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so my meatballs are cool, and I'm going to get them ready for the freezer. So what I like to do is I use a freezer bag, gallon, and I use a piece of wax paper, and I'll just fold it to fit in the bag. I'm making like a pocket. Can you tell I've done this a few times? Okay. Then I just open it and I put the meatballs in. I like to lay them flat so that they freeze and I can pull them out as many as I want. But this is like super easy. And again, I like to freeze them flat so that you could, you know, I want 3 meatballs, I take 3. I need 6 or 10 of them, I could grab that many. Super easy. You could also freeze them, I guess, on a cookie sheet and then just throw the balls in the bag. But honestly, I think this is easier. It's like 1 step rather than 2. And like I said, when you're busy and you're trying to cut corners, you're looking for the shortest. And then again, you could do this with, you know, just a casserole dish, but I plan on just throwing these tins out when I'm done. They have all the fat and stuff in them. Super easy. Okay, I'm going to finish doing these, and then I'm going to come back with the browned chopped meat, and I'm going to show you how I package those for the freezer. So I will be right back. Okay, so last, but certainly not least, my husband helped me write some bags up. I have 2 cups of brown chopped meat, and all I use is a 2-cup measuring cup, and I have my big pot here of ground chopped meat. I'm going to go, my hands are clean. I'm kind of grossed out by doing this, but here it goes. And my hands are clean, the counter's clean, it's all good. I think it's going to be about 8 bags, but I'm not certain. That's what I had him help me make. Okay, so then these are good, like, if you want to make a casserole, the meat's already brown. Like I have on my channel, if you guys have seen it, that crunchy beef casserole. I would use this and that, and then that cuts out a whole step of it, and it makes it like a quicker meal. And you could use this to make sloppy joes, to make tacos. Sometimes we just do like, I don't even know what you'd call it, like a loose burger, where you put this in the frying pan and melt cheese on top of it, and then you could do like mushrooms and onions on the side. Serve it on a bun, serve it on a plate. You could use it for meat if you're trying to make a meat sauce. You could use this in there, but it's already done. So on nights when you don't have time, I have a small Etsy shop that's doing fairly well, so I'm very busy. And so some nights I'm just sewing so much I don't have time to cook, so we do something like this. If you want to check out the store, it's Reen's Place at Etsy.com. That was a commercial. 2, 4, 6 bags so far. I think it is going to be right around 8, maybe a little more. Let's see. Oh, I lost a bag. Give that a good shake out, Chuck. I'm not scared. Or am I? Okay. I'm going to get a spoon, because all I'm doing now is wow, am I good at doing this or what? I said about 8 cups. Pretty darn close. I don't know if you could see it. Probably not. I'm pretty darn close to 8 cups. I'll probably just put a little bit of... How I figured that out is I figured I had 9 pounds of ground beef. We used some in the sauce for dinner tonight. So I figured 8 pounds of ground beef and probably 2 cups to a pound cooked. And that is all she wrote, folks. Okay. Now, what I like to do then is just to make it easier, like, again, you can use this from frozen. You don't even have to thaw it out. But what I like to do is I start, and I get it flat. I take out as much air as I can. I'm not crazy about it, but I try. And that's it. I store them flat until they're frozen, and then I store them up. And you could throw it right in the pan from frozen, and you're all set. So out of my beef that I got on sale today, the chopped meat, I got 3 bags, which was 115 meatballs. They're ready to go. They're going to go in the freezer. I got 8 pounds of browned chopped meat, which again, casseroles, they stand alone, tacos, all that. So not a bad deal. This was how much dollars? Let's see, how many pounds did we have already? I did 6 pounds of meatballs and 9, so 15 pounds, $30 worth of food, and I've got how many meals? Countless. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and share it on your page. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that red subscribe button. And be on the lookout because I just filmed tonight our one-pot pasta meal, which you can use the frozen meatballs in. So check that out. That's a good one, and it's super quick. The whole meal, start to finish, is, what did it take me? I think it took me 25 minutes. But good, and one pot to wash, which is always lovely. All right, guys, have a good night, and I will be back soon.